Today's topic, we have Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty. So just a warning to the listener, we will be talking about spoilers eventually here, which we usually don't do, but we just feel we need to talk about this because it is a DLC on top of the original game. So we're going to talk about our endings in the DLC. It cannot be avoided, and we'll let you know when that point comes.
True.
So, let's talk about the story. Where does this DLC story start compared to the vanilla game? Like, when can you start doing it, and what is the story? Did you guys start a new file?
Yes.
Did anyone start a new file?
Yeah, I started fresh whenever the 2.0 came out.
I had played 10 hours of like the thing before the 2.0 launch, and then I just restarted it completely because it wasn't that far anyway.
Really? And did you start the DLC right away?
No. No. I played entirely. I played this game. I can't remember. I'm like 120, 130 hours in, but I played it from front to back. And the way that I did it is I played through a couple of different endings for the primary Cyberpunk game. And then I chose to play Phantom Liberty and then treat that as an alternate ending.
Right. Okay. That's what I did as well. Yeah. Okay.
My OG playthrough was whenever it first came out. Like, so I played the ye old Cyberpunk on the Xbox. I played it on the Xbox One X.
Nice.
And I liked it a lot. And now I played it again as a female lesbian and
nice.
As opposed to a male lesbian. And yeah, and I played through just naturally again and just kind of wove Phantom Liberty in whenever I felt like going back. So
really?
I didn't do it all in one shot. So I would go do side content I missed on my first playthrough and then come back.
I think that might have been the more accurate way, or maybe the way that they would have wanted you to play it versus the original, because I feel like that route of doing it and like weaving in and out of the Phantom Liberty content is pretty seamless to an extent. But for me in my brain, it was nice to just partition the two out and not touch any of it, because the thing is that none of those quests trigger until you get into Dogtown. And so like and I just avoided going in that area or talking to Mr. Hands. I was driving around, and at one point Mr. Hands like sends you a message, and I'm not 100% clear on whether or not you can get quests or missions from Mr. Hands in terms of like little gigs that you can do before Phantom Liberty, but he did like reach out to me and be like, "Hey, what's up, V?" while I was out kind of in the Glen area.
Yeah, so he gives them out in vanilla.
Okay.
Yes. Like that's before you kind of meet him face to face. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I really like about it, because the structure of the game is really encourages kind of just wandering about, and that's been my play style always in games like this, because there are multiple spots that have breathing room in between missions where they're like, okay, I'll call you when I'm ready, and then you have to like spend 2 in-game days or something like that. And so I would, like, a lot of people would just like sleep or do whatever. I would just go, okay, well I guess I'll go and do some Pan Am shit while I'm waiting or something. You know what I mean? And so it was really fluid in that way.
Yeah, there's a few times where it does that, where it's like, oh, wait for this guy to call you or whatever. But let's start off with the kind of the story of the DLC. It starts off crazy, by the way. Like, your character is contacted by Songbird Song Somi, who is an expert hacker or net runner, if you will. And she is she's like an assistant to the president of the NUSA. Rosalind Myers, and she explained that they're in an aircraft and it's been hacked over Night City and it's about to crash into the lawless district of Dogtown. Now, Songbird asks V to help in return for her assistance in preventing the relic from destroying V's brain. Somehow she knows about the relic, and this is the first mission in Phantom Liberty where you kind of go to the crash site and kind of help save the president. We got to save the president.
Which Songbird looks really fucking cool.
She looks amazing. It was interesting because like the models, and this is a question that you guys have a little bit farther down, and I have a lot of different comparisons, but seeing her model for the first time after, hours and hours of playing with Pan Am or Judy or people who were like in person, I was like, oh, this is different. This is new. And like they're treating this like a premiere like experience. So I thought that was really neat.
Whenever you cross that border into Dogtown, I think it gets better looking. Like,
well, yeah,
which is funny because that place sucks.
It's crazy. Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
shithole.
It's a shithole, but like, just like
the
crossing
frame
over,
rate
like,
goes down like this.
Oh yeah, yeah,
On the
it's
computer.
Does
insane.
it really?
Oh
It's
yeah,
insane.
on PC.
It's insane, and the lighting's better. In
I had to turn off
Dogtown,
ray
like,
tracing. I couldn't play
Yeah.
Phantom Liberty with ray tracing on. Like
Interesting.
I had to turn it off.
Wait, what's your?
There's
what's
a
your
lot going
GPU?
on.
I have a 3080.
I think it's probably. I think what probably contributes to that is that in the normal map of Cyberpunk, there's so many buildings that they can call out a ton of shit. But in Dogtown, it's very open, and there's so many spots where you can just see all of Dogtown.
Yes.
So it's like really, that's probably really tough.
Yeah,
Because I actually read how they did it for Witcher 3 was to keep the performance in Witcher 3 really good. Is nothing was loaded like anywhere out of like his peripheral vision or some shit like that. So like.
Oh.
It was like basic loaded in like grass and
Like
like,
everything's
boxes
called out.
for houses. Yeah. And then whenever it would go into vision, it would like load in, and they did all these crazy shortcuts and all this to keep the performance and the quality of the graphics like super high, but keeping it running good. And I can see that with the buildings. If the buildings are blocking stuff behind it, why load that stuff, right? Why keep that running? But then again, this game is unbelievably hard on computers whenever you're trying to really pump those dials
it's
up.
a fucking
Yeah.
benchmark. This is
Fucking
the
insane.
game that you play to test your fucking computer.
Yeah.
And it's been
Oh,
like that since 2020.
4
in-
years of benchmarking.
Yeah, November, whenever the hell it
Insane.
came out. Almost, 3 and a bit.
Nate said hard
But-
on. But
Yeah.
also the jump in quality from I played this game like 1.1 on a shitty Xbox One S, and
Yeah.
like the jump from what I remembered the game being like to playing it on a Series X like in 2.0 plus is insane. Even just in Night City, just walking around and seeing all of the fucking like the reflections in waters and the steams coming from, it's so crazy how beautiful Cyberpunk is like in modern day, even in
it's fucking
Dogtown.
nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it just goes to show like the work that they put into like get people back on their like good graces after the bad launch. You know what I mean? Like the work that they non-stop for 4 years have been crunching this game. It's actually very amazing what they've done.
And it's so interesting too, because like thinking about this from a marketing perspective, like versus like what it was like to engage and experience the game, I thought that Phantom Liberty and like being in Dogtown was such a distinct and separate experience that it almost creates this separation between I'm in Night City versus I'm in Dogtown. And I thought that like the interesting idea about it in the way that they packaged it, and it's smart the way they did it. Obviously, playing Phantom Liberty 100% worth the $35 or $40 I think it costs to upgrade to that version and actually engage with that option. But I almost see it as like this could have been an interlude, or this could have been the scope of a game very similar to like a Lost Legacy for Uncharted or Spider-Man Miles Morales that Sony obviously had packaged and sold as separate games. But then they're here, and obviously CD Projekt Red isn't a thing where they're again, like you said, they're trying to get gamers back on their good side, or they're trying to show goodwill for their fan base, the people who absolutely loved and advocated for the game up front first. And I think that it's like incredibly smart way to do it. But it's so much of a jump in quality that I'm like, this could have been its own experience.
Yeah, man.
Not to mention the fact that it has this incredible like main storyline that they attach to the end of it. Plus, like all of the side content. When I finished Phantom Liberty, I had a list of like 5 or 6 side missions. All looked really, really cool that I was like, I'm not doing this. I am so done with Cyberpunk at this point. I was just like, this is an amazing game, but I can't. I had to step away. But it's like I could jump back in at any point and do a number of those side missions and be like, this is incredible. This is so cool. Mm-hmm. So it really is distinct.
Yeah, there was really good. I felt it more in Phantom Liberty, that first person kind of experience, maybe. You know what I mean? Like when you're at that gala, and you're like watching the show, and you're like have to kind of stand around, and I feel like maybe I noticed it more, but it's more of they kind of make it that first person. Like this is why they made the game first person. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
or the scene when the PlayStation comes in, when the president comes in. My fault.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just,
it looks like a PlayStation.
It just makes it that's makes you realize this is why they made it first
You know-
person, and it really does.
You know what it's like? You ever watch those movies that are in 3D, but then you watch them on DVD, and it's like, oh, whenever you see a scene where like, oh, this is like the 3D part. This is the part where like, it's just like, whoa!
This is the CGI. This is the CGI part.
Yeah. It's so fascinating that you say that, Jono, because it's really it's kind of similar to what Dan and I were talking about when he was referring to Stray, is that something that they do different with Phantom Liberty is that there is so much more visual storytelling that adds layers and it adds depth to what it's like to be in Dogtown. Like the difference between wandering around with Night City and something that I kind of struggled with whenever I was doing the base game in Cyberpunk was that, yeah, it was cool. And I loved like what the original game, and obviously that original content had packaged at its core. It's a really cool noir murder mystery thriller drama that I love to pieces. But the thing about Phantom Liberty is that you jump in the game and it's immediately like you go in through this portal, obviously, or the checkpoint, and they have to make you stop to scan your car, and you have like 8 turrets that are aimed at you to know that you go in.
The first time I drove through there, I was like, what the
fuck is going on?
Yeah, are these guys gonna start fucking shooting at me? And I have to get into this right now with these turrets and shit?
And then you make it through there, and immediately you just see this desolation of what was supposed to be this incredible city that like has this like economic stratification to it, and then it has like completely just been run down by the military state that has become. And then you hear Kurt Hansen,
and it's always like dark in Dogtown. It's like smoggy and dark. I'm like, why is it so different here than in Night City?
And it's just like the visual style. It goes so far to kind of tell you like where you are and what you're doing, and it got me into it immediately.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, one of the it's like the thing about Night City is that they kind of, I remember the promotional stuff, they were like, this is going to be a city where it's every part is going to be different and have a different feel to it. And I really, really was looking for that. I wanted to do that because going from Watson to Japantown to the Glen, like I was really looking for, okay, what's the culture in these different parts of the city? And unfortunately, like for me, it just felt kind of samey. The only cultural differences that you could see is the different gang members that you're murdering just wantonly as you're going throughout it. But then like with Dogtown, you're like, okay, I understand where I am and what I'm doing. Not to mention the fact when you get later on in the story and then they do that perspective switch of when you're playing as a different character. It's just so good.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the skill tree and the updated revamped skill tree that they did for Phantom Liberty. I went with an intelligence technical ability run, and then I also like dumped a bunch of just base points into strength that really, really helped me out when I just had to like rip a fence open or get through a sewage drain. But I was curious, like, what did you guys do? Because I wanted something different at the end of the day, I think.
I wanted to do something different, but I ended up just being a techno wizard again.
Yeah,
it's just the superior way to play Cyberpunk, I think.
I went. Well, they made the 2.0, right?
Yeah.
When they introduced 2.0, or wait, was 2.0 with Phantom Liberty? Or was that
no,
before?
it was like a month
it was like kind of
okay. So the month before, I started playing again when they did the 2.0, and I redid then. So I had already kind of been playing as kind of what I stayed with Phantom Liberty. Which was shotguns and body. So
gotcha. Okay.
I didn't really do much hacking, so I was just jumping around and like I could do the double tap. You double tap like the dodge button, and you go fucking flying.
Yeah,
like you can
really
zoom around. Like I didn't even need.
That's what I did.
I literally didn't even need to use a car. I would just go choo choo, and I would be double jumping forward, and you go so fast.
That's
and
crazy.
Like I would do that with my shotgun. And whenever you dodge like that and you ADS with the shotgun, it slows down time, and I'm like,
oh my god!
And I'm just fucking blasting everybody away.
See, that's what I wanted to do, but I wanted to do that with blades. And this was purely based off of something that I saw someone do with a modded kit of Cyberpunk on TikTok, where they had blades and they had like 2 silver arms. It was like both of Johnny's silver hands, like just for arms. And they were doing this thing where they were like a ninja, and they were just air dashing throughout this entire facility, like one of just basically the grounds with some soldiers in there. And they were just doing nothing but throwing these blades and one-shotting.
Oh, the throwing, throwing knives?
Are those new?
I think so.
You could throw knives in the first one. It's just a different.
Oh, really?
different tree.
Okay, so yeah, so that must the air dashing, like that's what I was doing, but with shotguns.
Yeah, that's new. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's what I was
Okay.
doing with
Yeah.
shotguns. But I also noticed that the double, then you know how you get the legs that you can either double jump or like power jump.
Yeah.
The double jump is so much better than the power jump.
Yeah,
the power
double jump
fucking
is great.
sucks. Yeah, the double jump, you have to do the double jump.
I'm pretty sure I got the double jump and just forgot I had it the whole time. I just never
Oh,
ever
really?
used it. Yeah,
So
because the
good.
game is so
was
realistic that I just
constantly
never
using it.
thought about
Yeah.
it.
Especially
Well, that
with
was-
the dash, with the air dashes, like the air dashes and the double jump is absolutely sick. Like
Well-
you're just flying around.
That was one thing, is that like I could hack everything, so I just never needed
So
to
you just
jump.
stood still.
Well, see,
You're
this is
just
the
like-
thing is I used Pan Am's sniper rifle because it's so fucking powerful.
Overwatch.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I had that sniper rifle, and so every fight I would go, kill yourself, your grenade's blowing up, your gun's gonna malfunction, boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 and just start blowing everyone's fucking brains out, and I would win every fight like right away,
Yeah.
like even to the end of the game. And so I was like, I never had to change my strategy, but sometimes I would. I liked the vibro garrote wire thing. I thought it looked cool.
Mhm.
The
Oh,
mono
yeah.
wire.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
man, I died a lot because I was like, woo!
Yeah, because you're like
Just
you're like
got
getting in
shot.
there.
Yeah.
You have to like get in.
Something that I thought was really frustrating for me is that, like, as a first person game, I've never played a first person shooter or a first person game that implements melee that I like, that I can think of off the top of my head. And Cyberpunk has like no exception to that. I tried the blades. And the
Yeah.
blades were cool for a little bit. I tried the monowire. I tried the mantis arms, and they were all kind of just like 1, 2, 3.
Really?
And then kind of, I think in Phantom Liberty they give you another loadout where it's like there are caches that, if I'm not mistaken, one of Militech has left
Mhm.
scattered around the city, and you could collect
Yeah.
Militech points and then upload or upload that to your body, which
Oh,
would
really?
allow you to do an ultimate with mantis or monowire, or I think
Oh,
the
cool.
gun
I didn't
arm.
even know that.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. But the thing is
Well,
that
yeah,
like
it's like
it's
their
still the
their
same
relic points.
Oh,
relic
relic
points.
points.
That's
Okay,
exactly
okay.
what
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, yeah.
I barely messed with it because it
Yeah, me either.
just
Actually,
they weren't like super compelling for my playstyle. So
and I didn't get a lot of them. I only got like 2 of them.
yeah.
You gotta,
I found
you gotta,
I didn't
you get
get
it.
a lot of them.
They ping, like you can hear there's
Yeah,
like
they
an
beep.
audio auditory note that
Huh.
you can
Oh,
hear while
really?
you're
Wow.
walking around, and you find it
Yeah.
that way. It's
But
kind of
it's
Oh,
cool.
weird.
I think
it was
I only
a
got
weird
2 or
skill
3 of them.
tree because
Yeah, it wasn't.
you could
it
only
wasn't fully
unlock
fleshed out.
so much that was useful to you. If you're only using
Yes.
one melee, then you could only unlock maybe one thing for me was the gorilla arms, and then I think a few things on the bottom that I could use, but like the rest I was like, well, I'm not going to unlock those because I don't use mantis
Exactly.
blades, I don't use monowire.
Yeah.
So it was a little weird that you couldn't
Right.
max it out, but
Yeah, but I agree.
See-
I didn't like the melee that much.
I have a question here. I was like, did you guys like the new skill tree versus the old one?
I love it. I love the I was using the shit out of overclock. Like
Oh,
that
yeah.
was
Oh, yeah, I
so
overclocked a
fucking
lot.
cool. Like it was like because it was so cool because a lot of my abilities were like the top tier abilities and they used so much RAM. Even though I had
Yeah.
tons of RAM, I would still run out sometimes, and like I would just
Yeah.
it just felt like going Kaioken times 10 and just
And it
like
was-
fucking going ham on him, man.
And there were so many. The cool thing about the overclocking is that it's literally just using V's health for listeners' context.
Yeah.
It's using V's health to
Yeah.
replace actual RAM in order
Yeah.
to do a lot of the technical
Right.
skills, like
Yeah.
detonate a grenade or
That was
go
the-
make somebody go
yeah.
cyber psycho. But the cool
Yeah.
thing is that there are different points on that tree that, like, depending on when you overclock, if you use a certain skill, like throw a grenade or shoot someone in the head, it automatically refills V's health while
Yeah.
you're in overclocked mode. So
Yeah.
it's like actively incentivizing you to just go psychotic,
Yeah.
Yeah.
murder, rampage
the-
everybody.
That was supposed to be the cyber psycho effect, right? Was to use your health to kind of do that.
Mm.
I was hoping that you would actually like go crazy,
Go a little
start
crazy.
seeing things,
Like
like
Sora
your
from
controls-
Kingdom
your
Hearts 2.
controls-
Go
yeah,
to
the
the dark
controls
side.
get fucked up, when you're psycho going crazy on your
that would
on
be
your
cool.
Chrome.
On
like
your
something
Chrome, bro.
happens where like you can't control your character and they like go crazy and you're like and you're trying to control them back and nothing
They
happens.
start
Like,
killing people you don't mean
that,
to.
yeah, it would be really really cool because that's what happens when you go when you're going cyber psycho, right?
That reminds me, like, how much of the fucking lingo from Cyberpunk is bled into your real life lingo? Because
Oh, yeah.
I
All the time.
unironically say preem. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really do. I can't
Yeah.
help it. It just sounds so
Cream
good.
and
I just
chewing.
call everybody Tune
Gonk.
now.
Yeah.
Tune.
Or fucking corpo. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I don't
Oh, yeah.
trust him.
Corpo.
for sure.
Yeah, I
Corpos.
can't
Yeah.
trust the corpos.
for sure.
Yeah,
Even
I'd
though
say
my
both
character
go
was
up,
a
dude.
corpo. But
Did
My
you
my first character was a corpo actually.
Speaking
When I
of
did
which,
female.
did you guys do the little side quest that tied into Edge Runners?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Nuh-uh.
it's
Get the
cool.
Maybe.
jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get
well,
the
Can I
you
just-
would
David's
know
jacket.
if you had done it, Nave. Just because like there's a section where it's like you go and you pick up David's jacket, and then you
I
actually
never saw it.
call. You never saw that?
Nah.
Yeah. So what happens is that it's kind of hard to find. I wish they had highlighted it a bit more. I guess like because I had to go actively looking for it because it's just like a non-disclosed side quest that they don't really highlight
I
at
thought
all.
they give you like
Yeah.
a text or something to start it.
I think they do. I think they do.
Yeah, you get
It's
a
like
message
the
from
oh,
one of the characters in Edge Runners, the driver.
it's the driver.
The driver
Yeah,
guy. I
driver,
don't remember his
yeah.
name.
Because if it gave me a text, I probably did it. Because I did a lot of just naturally playing side quests and stuff. Especially if I hadn't done it before, I would have been like, oh, I don't remember this. Let's go figure this shit
Yeah.
out.
It was
But
fun. It was
I'd
cool.
never seen Edge Runners, so I probably did it, and I was like, oh, that was
Oh,
neat.
really?
And then I
Oh,
just fucking
dude.
went on with my life.
Yeah.
You gotta
You
watch
haven't seen Edge
Runners.
Runners?
You gotta
Oh, it's
watch
so
it,
good.
dude.
Yeah, I
Gotta
mean,
watch it.
if you like anime,
think-
Nave, this is going to be something that obviously it's going to make you sad. It's going to make you kind of sad, but
That's what Cyberpunk does.
it's worth watching.
It's
for sure.
fucking great.
Re-
Holy
It's
shit.
Release it on
fucking great, and
Crunchyroll. Because I don't have
I
Netflix.
find-
It's on Netflix. Oh yeah. Well,
I find like whenever they release that, it was such a boom, right? It was such a boom, and that's when they really kickstarted to get this game back up in players' hands.
mhm.
And like the music, the title track to
Oh yeah.
the anime.
Yeah, the music. was
Franz
really good.
Ferdinand.
Oh
Yeah.
like amazing. Like what's it called, Daniel? I want to spend a night in your house or whatever.
I
Yeah.
really want to stay at your house by Let's Get Around.
Amazing. Like, and it's not even that great of a song. It's just that when I watched Edge Runners and that came on, it was like the perfect mix. It was like the perfect song for that anime. And then when I started hearing it while I was playing Cyberpunk, I was just like, oh my fucking God, it was goosebumps. It was
Yeah.
so amazing. So good. But moving along, the differences between like updates or between Vanilla and Phantom Liberty, I'm just going to run through them real quick so we know what changed. So we got the redesigned skill tree perks, we got revamped cyberware and new capacity system, which was much better in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yep.
Way better. We got the vehicle combat, so you can actually shoot out of your vehicle's windows.
Hated this.
Oh, and on my bike, I had my
I never used it.
Katana on
Never
my
once.
bike. Oh my God, it was so good.
You have to use
So
it in like a fucking story
Oh yeah,
mission
one
now.
of the story missions.
And
yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, are you kidding
I
me?
never was in a car, so I rarely ever was in my car, so I
Yeah,
never,
I
ever
prefer
used that.
driving on a bike in the
Oh,
game.
on
I
the
think
bike,
that's a
yeah,
superior
bike.
way to
100%.
navigate
Yeah.
the roads.
Yeah, especially
Like,
because you
yeah.
can crash and fly off of it.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
It's always better.
But again, even if I wasn't like air dashing around, I would do a bike. But I was mostly air dashing around or like fast traveling. So I mean, I did not spend a lot of time in a car at all.
I was on the bikes because it just reminded me, like, especially my Akira bike.
Mhm.
Like driving that thing, I felt like I was a fucking monster, just a cool lesbian, just driving around in Liberty City.
you know what really
Liberty
upsets
City,
me is that like
Phantom Liberty.
you
cool lesbian.
you're like the only one chromed out like you are. You know what I mean? And no, everyone else is just kind of generic. Like I wish in the game
how the people
you
walking
would
the
see
streets, though.
someone wave dashing around like fucking
Yeah.
yeah.
someone doing Spider-Man
oh, yeah.
around the fucking. You just see it like randomly.
That
That
man
would be
has
so
kinda
cool.
chrome.
Well, you do get
get-
that in Phantom Liberty.
Yeah.
But it's like
Yeah.
you're facing other operatives that are chromed out to the extent it's used. Like only few people, and I think that
Some
it's
of
like
the
it's
stuff,
interesting
yeah.
you say that, Nate, because it's like almost a canon reason why almost nobody is chromed out to the extent that V is, because it's
Right.
fucking psychotic that
Yeah.
she has so much goddamn chrome in her body.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
With
Yeah.
everything that she has, from like obviously the like whether or not you're running Sandevistan or like a net watch build, and
But it's expensive too, right?
yeah.
Like you're not going to see these bums and regular people just trying to get by in Night City chromed the shit out, because they're not everyone's a mercenary or
Yeah, we're
whatever they're
successful
doing.
mercenaries, man.
I just want to see a businessman double jump his way to his fucking office balcony. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
To
not
the
the reality.
50th floor.
Oh man.
What speaking of all of this though, I really enjoy that I really like how they took the armor and shit off of the fucking outfits
Yes.
and
Oh
put
my
it
God.
into the chrome, which gave you
Yes.
even more
Yeah.
reason to go to that
Yeah.
Ripper
Made
duck.
far more sense.
Oh,
doing
interesting.
that.
So
yeah.
before they had armor like on jackets
It
and
was
shirts and
Yeah,
stuff.
on
fucking
release.
terrible, dude.
So your
Yeah.
character looked so fucking stupid.
Talk
because you
about-
just chose.
Dude,
You could
talk
have
about The
outfits,
Witcher,
no?
bro. In The Witcher, you're like, oh, he looks so stupid. But at least you're like, yeah, I guess this is what like people looked back then, whatever.
Yeah.
But like when you see this futuristic dude with a neon pink fucking jacket and a thong and a fucking girl's tank top on, and like you look like a fucking clown, dude. It's so terrible.
At least you
And
don't
the
see
thong
yourself
is the
as
best
first
piece of
person.
gear you have.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, the thong has
The
100
most
armor.
armor.
100 armor thong.
Yeah, that was
But yes,
absolutely stupid.
It was.
I
it
don't
was a great
understand why they
choice.
just didn't do that at the beginning. And then they took forever to come out with some sort of transmog, like,
Yeah.
Yes.
this is what I want to look like. Ignore the armor on it. Like, it took them forever to come out. Like, what are you? That was ridiculous. And my character looked so stupid for the longest time. So what I did was I didn't even care about that. I put on what I wanted to put on.
Yeah.
And if
So
you
did I.
died, you died.
If I died, I died.
I die.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Moving on. Relationships here. So
I thought this was a cool touch.
yeah, they added a little bit more in the relationship.
Not much more.
thing.
Tell you
Not
that.
much more. So Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty does not add any new romance options, but the previously romanceable characters have new dialogue and cutscene content in the expansion. As you could in the base game, you can romance Judy, Panam, Carrie, River. Plus, you could have a few side rendezvous with like joy toys and stuff like that.
Yeah, or that
which I've
one
done
chick.
a lot.
Jig Street.
Dude,
I was so mad I couldn't romance Pan Am as female V. I was so fucking pissed off.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just mod it? You could just mod that in.
Yeah, that's
Mod
true.
that
And honestly, Nate, we need to do something like do a quick like Discord call or something, and you walk me through how you did your mods, because I would love to like,
I had,
play
like-
around with that a little bit.
I think I was at 200 mods on Cyberpunk, 200 and some. Like it was ridiculous.
did you
Okay.
guys
It was
fuck the lady? You know
The
when at
corporal
the
lady?
yeah. Well, no, it's the. Is it a corporal? I don't remember.
Yeah,
She's the
she works for
person that.
Militech?
Yeah, the Militech girl. Did you fuck her?
Yes.
I
had
knew
no
that
idea.
there was an option to, but I
It
didn't
was. I don't
know
think I
when you
did.
could
I
do
think
that.
I chose the wrong thing. I chose the
Yeah.
wrong thing.
I chose the wrong thing because I was trying to be faithful to Judy.
Now, wait a minute. So none of you had sex with Meredith Stout or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
her name was?
Is it
Mer-
she
Stroud.
the-
Stroud,
Is she
yeah,
like the
no.
silver
No, I
girl?
didn't. Yeah. Silver haired chick, I think. No?
Yeah, in the very beginning,
No.
she's
Very
the one
beginning,
that.
yeah.
That you're getting the info from, and she holds you
She's
up
like a
like a
drone.
blonde. She's got the blonde, slick back corpo hair.
Oh, okay. Blonde. Yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking
You
Rogue.
meet her
But
at
yeah.
the No-Tell Motel.
Yeah, and she texts you, and I'm like, oh, cool, side missions, whatever. And so I'm like, yeah, I'll head over there right now, and, or whatever. Just fucking virgin eyes, just have no idea that I'm about to
Yeah,
get laid.
And that's where you get the huge
Motel
dildo,
motel.
melee weapon. That's
Yeah,
where I got
dude.
it.
It's
Oh,
so
okay,
funny.
It's like on the
nice.
bed
No, I didn't get
in
that.
the motel room.
Because I was streaming it for someone, and I was like, she was like, going ahead and see it at the motel. I'm like, yeah, I wonder what she needs from me. And then she throws me on the bed and and I'm like, oh my God, what's happening?
Every time that happens, every time I wasn't expecting a sex scene, my windows were wide open and my OLED is massive, right?
Yeah.
So you can walk by my
And
house
you can
and
see
look into the
directly
fucking-
on the TV.
right on the
It's
TV.
like,
So
what
I'd be
is
like,
this guy doing? I was like, oh.
the same thing happened to The Witcher too. Like I would just be walking around and I'd end up in this like, orgy with a bunch of whores. I'm like, close those fucking windows. Man, it was
I don't
funny.
know. I found there wasn't really much extra that they added. Like they made whoever you were romancing call you like every once in a while. They'll text you and call you, and you can meet up. But the
I like
meetups
that.
were never different.
Mhm.
They were
Yeah,
once you
it's
did it
always
once,
like
it was
you
always the
go
same
and
after
you
that.
sit on the couch next to each
Yeah.
other,
Yeah.
and then like I don't know, you can drink coffee, and then you go to sleep together. Like
Yeah.
there's no sex in the
Yeah.
dates that you have, which
So
is
I was
like,
like,
Kind of sucks.
What?
I gotta go. I got something, and I just
Yeah.
left her like on my
Yeah,
couch,
let
and
her
like,
know.
yo, what up, Reed? What up, Reed?
I didn't know
You
what it
can.
was whenever I first did it. Like, so I had Judy call me up, and I was just sitting there chatting with her for a while, and I thought that this was like I thought it was a side quest. So I was like, where's this going? I've exhausted all the dialogue. So I guess I'm gonna
Yes,
go.
exactly.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do here.
So
Oh,
that's-
Judy's still in your game? Because
I don't know.
My Judy left.
Yeah,
She
I think
skipped
Judy
town.
Judy leaves. She
well,
fucking
it
sucks,
depends
dude.
if you're not romancing her.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Then-
Okay. So as a male,
I think that was before
who
I
I
was
couldn't
romancing her.
romance. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't romance
Yeah,
Judy
no.
because I was my male V.
Correct.
So she just skips town and like she texts you once in a while, like sends you pictures of where the hell she is or whatever.
She skips town
Huh.
even if you do romance her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's not what happened to me though.
Hold on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
What? What?
So now we can get into we're getting here. So we're
we
gonna
gonna go
jump
spoiler?
into spoiler wall.
Okay.
So spoiler wall here, and then we're gonna talk about quickly everything that's happened to us and our ending. So I'm just gonna take it through here. I've got points that we're gonna drill through,
Okay.
and then we're gonna take turns on that. Okay.
I wanted to ask you
So
guys a
spoiler
question
wall now.
first.
Yeah.
Did you guys shower with your partners in the?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Because I didn't know, like,
I don't remember. I don't
not
made a
everybody
music video.
goes into the bathroom and hits shower. Like, who the fuck showers in a video game?
Oh.
But if you do that,
it
I
gives you a
didn't-
you
buff.
call your partner over and she comes in and you're naked together in the shower. So there's
Oh,
that at
shit.
least. There's no
I
sex.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
You can
there's
shower
that.
with each other.
Dang it.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I always shower and I always drink coffee when I'm at my safe houses because it gives you an
Okay.
XP boost and like
Yes.
an HP boost for
What?
If you
Oh,
sleep
cool.
too, same thing.
Yeah,
What? I didn't know.
I didn't know that.
Man, there's so much shit I don't
God,
know.
I never,
Anyway.
ever went back to my house for any reason.
Yeah, me either. I was like, never.
I
there.
went back to be like, oh,
I even
maybe
bought
there's
a
a secret
new
way
one.
to bang Judy.
I
But
bought
no,
like a
never.
fancy ass new apartment, and I never went there. I was like, yeah, that's mine.
Yeah, exactly. You can play
never
pool
use it.
and stuff in the
I
high
don't
rise.
use it.
I just want to drop. I actually made a cool fan made music video, Cyberpunk music video. It's on our YouTube channel. To Ghost by Gunship. Very cool. It's like a revenge story with Judy. Very cool. I modded the shit out of it. So what you see in there is like all mods. And I created my own little story in like a 4-minute music video. Pretty cool. Check it out.
If you're a fan
now-
of the Rocky movies, you'll like that.
Yeah, it's very like 80s.
I make a cameo in
Theme.
there. I'm the third guy in line behind Judy in the convenience store.
There's actually we have a fight in the sushi place, but have a look at the video, and take a look. Anyway, spoiler wall here. We're gonna go into our favorite parts of Liberty City really quick. I'm gonna start off jacking into Slider, the hacker guy that had to find out how Songbird got into your brain or whatever.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Like jacking into Slider and then him realizing that realizing that it was the black wall,
The
how she
black
got
wall.
through.
Man,
Yeah.
anything with the
Very
black wall
cool.
is fucking
Yes.
sick.
Everything with
very
the black
cool.
wall is sick. The black wall, if you don't know what it is a firewall developed by Netwatch located within the net. It is tasked with keeping rogue AIs from breaking through into the rest of cyberspace and wreaking havoc. The firewall often splits old network systems in half, leading to stories of haunted data. That was a really cool one for me. What about you guys?
I loved the quest with the twins. It was fucking sweet.
yes,
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
where
Yeah.
you
I
where you
was-
take over them.
Aurora and Emmerich Cassell. Yeah,
Yeah,
those
I
were-
didn't like
those
it
were
because I
awesome.
thought I didn't like that they died. I was like, oh man, I
Yeah,
knew they were
I
gonna
know.
die. I knew that was the
Yeah.
point, but I was like, oh man.
I was kind of hoping I could get with the chick. You know what I'm saying? She was hot.
She was fire, bro. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
whenever
was
she comes
hot.
up to you, whenever you're like getting the info from her, trying to steal her
the
personality,
casino?
I was like, oh, it's like with Yennefer. I was like, oh, I can't lie to this girl. I'm like,
Yeah.
a little nervous.
Yeah.
That
accent
fiery
too,
redhead,
very well
man.
done.
Yeah.
I would
the
say
casino
that-
scene was cool too.
the casino scene was incredible. I would say that one of my favorite parts that was like the standout moment for me was kind of something that I had mentioned a little bit earlier is a side mission that you get after you start doing after you save Rosalind and then you're tasked with a couple
Oh,
of
yeah.
things and then you go to one of the Barghest encampments and then you see a guy who's like he needs a little bit of help but like he's like
Oh,
can,
yeah, I
can you
didn't
do a
do
thing
this
for
one.
me but then he
Yeah.
tells you a story about
Yeah.
what happened to him and you literally see like how he was indoctrinated into Barghest or how he was like inducted in it and then like it does a perspective shift of him
Oh, cool.
and then you go through a series where it's like you're playing as him and then obviously he like gets introduced to Kurt Hansen and then immediately kind of, I think like the last thing that you do as a part of his side quest is literally going through the eyes of Kurt Hansen, and they give you his gun and his knife, and it's the
Oh, yes.
coolest
Yeah,
fucking
yeah, yeah.
thing ever. And there's a moment where they're like the music kicks in, and it's like this hardcore fucking prog rock, and you're there just absolutely slaughtering these other, I can't remember who they were, these other gang members that were kind of encroaching on the territory, and it was insane. It was insanely cool, and I was
I
like,
did not do that one.
I can't believe I could have missed this, because this is literally like main story level experience that you would want from it, but it was just a
Yeah.
little side content thing that you're helping out a little dude, and he tells you the story of like what their whole deal is and the dogs and everything. It's
The
so awesome.
dogs. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sick. That's fucking sweet.
Daniel?
Man, a lot of it was great, but I can't not include one of my the highlights of the whole DLC being the Lizzie Wizzy performance at the
Mhm.
casino.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like the whole Black Sapphire party, like that whole.
Yeah, but it was the first time
Oh, the gala.
because I don't know if that song was in the base game. The
wasn't.
Grime song,
don't
"Delicate
think so.
Weapon." I don't know if it was or not.
I don't think it was.
No,
I
it was
didn't- I
like
didn't
maybe a
experience
new
it.
inclusion, but fuck, man, like that
Man.
was like watching. I was like, oh, okay.
Well, that's
Even
what I
if-
was talking about with the first person kind of.
Yeah,
like that
because you
part,
sit and
like,
watch
like-
the show right on the rail.
Yeah.
When
It's
they
like,
make
watch
you,
the show.
yeah, they
Yeah.
make you watch the show, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like when the lights go off, I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen? And then
Yeah.
I was fucking blown away.
I was
by
mesmerized.
The
Yeah,
entire scene was incredible.
Has a little
Yeah,
bit
so-
of a behind the scenes. I don't know if you guys knew this, but obviously Grimes and Elon Musk, I think they might still be together, but they were obviously earlier on in their relationship at this point. And then when she was doing her work with CD Projekt to do the scans
Huh.
and do like the voice acting and everything, apparently Elon like barged his way into the CD Projekt offices and like demanded that they do a scan of him to include him in the game. 'Cause he's like he's like, it's Cyberpunk, it's literally my game, you gotta put
Oh
me in
my
there. And it
God.
was just
Oh
like,
my
fuck, you gotta be
God.
kidding me, man.
For fuck's sake.
Like, yeah, we'll scan you.
But no, I assume they just said fuck you and I got it, like told him to get out, because it's like,
yeah. 'cause,
no.
like, how do you work him into the game? I guess.
No, you
just
don't work
don't.
that.
But
Make him
uh,
an NPC
yeah.
that
Side
you
mission.
murder over and
Yeah,
over
he's some
again. I don't
gonk
know.
that you fucking murder on the side.
Yeah.
of the street.
Yeah.
That's all.
That
Oh,
was
man.
that was my top like highlight. Again, even if I didn't like anything else in Phantom Liberty, and I just saw that scene, that'd been worth the, because that song, like,
Yeah.
kind of blew my mind, because I was just listening to it and I was like, this is kind of cool. It was like doom 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 doom, and it had this kind of cool drive to it, and I was like, okay. And I wasn't really like watching the scene so much as I was kind of just sitting there listening to it in the dark. And just everything that she did with the song as it went on, I was like, yes. Every like
neat.
decision she made until she hit that chorus and she starts like, and I was like, holy fuck.
Censored.
I was like,
Yeah, I know.
That's a lot of-
I couldn't hear that.
Copyright
But-
claimed.
Dan, so I'm curious, like, I haven't ever listened to any of her music, but would you say from your trained musician's ear that Grimes is a talented artist?
It's hard to say, man, because I don't know if she wrote that. I don't know if it was written with like 10
Yeah.
other producers, and maybe
It
she
probably
just
was the
sang it.
latter.
It's so hard to say.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
But if she contributed at all, you know, her voice is cool, but that's not something she has any real control over, except what she does with it. So I don't know. All I know is that she is the conduit of that. Whoever came up with that
Yeah.
idea.
Gotcha.
So,
And I'm pretty sure
okay.
you don't
know,
have to
she-
see that. I'm pretty sure you just walk off. I almost left because the mission was like, "Oh, mission's done. Leave now."
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah,
like,
I don't think I watched the whole thing. I just
Yeah.
left.
I
I
watched,
watched from the
whole-
balcony.
I sat
Ugh.
right there and watched the whole
I stood like
I
right
was
in
like, what
front
the
row.
fuck's going on?
Mhm.
I was looking for that French chick.
I was on an
I was
edible
looking for
too,
that
so
French chick.
Oh,
Nice.
I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool, man. I like it, man."
I really enjoy that whole scene. I think like that the storytelling that happens right before that, especially like getting V in that suit, that green kind of like pseudo snakeskin suit,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then like getting her in there, and then obviously you go through the events of like what happens in that section, and you meet Songbird for the first time.
Oh, that was
That was
incredible, too.
honestly a really traumatic moment for me because I was expecting to see her, and you don't realize that the visualization that you get of Songbird when she connects to you through the black
Yeah.
wall, it was
Mhm.
her as a kid. It wasn't her now, and you see
Right.
how
she's
her
a
like
fucking
body
robot.
has been like completely just
Chrome.
obliterated. And
Yeah.
it's interesting because like, you know, they go through a lot in this game. Like all of the characters go through a lot in terms of the narrative, and like especially V almost more than anybody. But it's interesting because like one of the themes that I thought was super important that was underscored throughout Phantom Liberty was like there is a connection between the body and the soul.
Mhm.
And I think that that was something that they wanted to like really drive home. And I thought that Songbird was like a perfect representation of that, because you kind of see how even though she's actively fighting to get out of her situation, it's almost like she's lost a part of herself along the way. And it's almost like
Yeah.
it's the same reason why she can't seem to get anything right. It's because so
Yeah.
much of
Oh,
her has
yeah.
been taken already.
Yeah.
Now that's
Man, it's
because
so good.
because I was reading this today on a Reddit post. I would pull it up, but it's a lot to read. Is that, if I can say this right here, is that because like President Myers was using her to go beyond the black wall, was like
Yeah.
using her as a puppet to like do her dirty shit and like
Yes.
shady shit. And every time you do that, you
Yeah.
like lose
Yes, you do.
like
Yeah,
parts
she
of
was
yourself.
doing it so much. Yeah, she
You
was.
do it
Yeah.
so much, you just deteriorate. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And like slowly die, pretty much.
I don't
Crazy.
know what missions, because I have like 2 missions that stood out to me in my second playthrough in particular. I don't know if they're specifically Phantom Liberty related, but like the first one that stood out was there was this one mission where you go and help these cops, and I don't remember what specifically starts this, but when you get there, the cops are in this room with a dead body on the table. Have you played
Oh,
this
yeah,
mission?
Yeah, I
Mission
remember
fucks.
this.
I think that's.
Yeah. Oh,
it's
yeah.
Liberty.
Okay, so this
remember.
dead body's cut open, like bisected,
Yeah.
like it's a fucking science experiment, all right? And
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you're like, what happened? And they're like, they're freaking out, like, oh my god, he fucking swallowed the drugs, man. He swallowed it. We tried to get it, but it dissolved in his stomach acid. We don't know what to fucking do. And you're like,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, like let's just get out of here. And you got to sneak out. And then when you get to the end of it, the dudes who you're running from are in the garage, and they're like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Who is this guy? Like, because you're a stranger. It is so
Oh,
funny,
man.
man.
And
was
I think
really good.
it was all took place in a church, right? It was the basement of this church.
I cannot
Wasn't it?
remember. I can't
I felt
remember.
like
where
I
it
thought
took
it
place.
was. I thought it was
don't
like some sort of, because it leads to a parking garage. I thought at the end.
Yeah,
of it,
at the
so
end
I
of it,
don't
you're in some
remember.
kind of garage
That
because
was
you have a
really good.
shootout
That
in
was
there
great.
if you decide to defend them.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just like, okay. I fuck that game. Actually, there were so many decisions where you can choose to just blow everyone away without even conversing, or you could like, every decision I made in Phantom Liberty, I was like hardcore Merc V. I just fucking blew everyone away.
Yeah.
Speaking of decisions, do we start talking about the ending?
Yeah. Let's get going. Here.
Yes, we
The
should.
Can I-
decisions.
Let me
at the
throw in
end.
one more, because one of the best side missions in the whole entire game is this game mission where this guy who's like really into this lady who's like I'm pretty sure she's a porn star, and he does her brain dances all
Yeah.
the time.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
becomes
power
her.
goes out, and so he thinks he's her.
I don't know that. I didn't.
Yes,
know that
yes, yes.
Oh
yes,
my
yes,
god,
yes.
it's so good, dude.
I don't remember
he's
that. I don't think
he's
I
like
did
this
it.
massive Russian guy that's like just completely bulky. He's got a ton of chrome on him, but he literally thinks he's this like little like female porn star.
He's dressed
Yeah,
like
I
her.
saw
His
that
hair's
one.
just
Yeah.
like hers.
Because-
It's so funny.
Yeah,
Because
and
the
they're both
brain dance got stuck in his head or something.
yeah.
Oh,
And it's so
sweet.
good because
Damn.
the way that it ends, the way that I ended it is you can bring the porn star back to the hotel by convincing her
Yep.
it's a gig, and then
Yeah,
telling
that's what
her
I
to be
did.
like, dude, just tell him that you're his older sister, long lost, estranged sister.
Yes.
Just convince him that you're not him. And then they become actresses together. They do like a fucking weird stepsister fucking thing.
Oh,
It's
nice.
so
That is funny.
funny.
Yeah, I remember that one. It was good. It is good.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
That was
Okay.
earlier on, I
Okay.
think, in the
No,
in Phantom
It's
Liberty.
okay.
I love that one.
But yeah, let's go. There is, once we get to the end, there is a point where you have to make a very hard decision whether you betray
Two decisions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
there's two.
two.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the first one is which is the first one?
Whether
you
or
wanna-
not you're going to basically side with Reed and then upload the virus that is going to knock
Right.
out Songbird,
Right.
or if you're gonna
go with Songbird and betray Reed and get
Right.
out and get her away into hiding or whatever, right?
Yep.
So
Right,
That's the
so
first
what
one?
did you guys? That's the
Yes.
Yeah,
I
first
thought
so-
there was another
That's
one.
when she's-
There
that's
is
when
another
you're
one
confronted
after.
with Kurt Hansen.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
after Kurt Hansen. You go down to the bomb thing, the
Mhm.
matrix, the neural matrix, and you're working on it with her.
Yeah.
And then you get the option
And you have to like
either.
make a
Ah,
decision.
yes.
That's like
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate level.
I
was just
sat
like-
at that screen. I sat at that screen for like 5
Yeah.
minutes.
I don't
just
know, man.
deliberating in my mind.
That's crazy because I had my
didn't
mind
know.
made up. Like I even beforehand, I was like, dude, this Songbird chick is kind of fucking everything up like all
Yeah.
the time. So fuck her.
I thought that later.
Mhm.
So I changed my mind. I flip-flopped. I did a flip-flop.
Okay, so let's go through the first decision.
Yeah.
Nave, your decision was
I went with Reed, not
Okay.
and not because Idris Elba's beautiful. Like let's just put that on the record.
He is. He's
But
so
his
sexy.
model is amazing. Like
Oh,
every
it's
time he's
amazing.
talking, he's looking at you all sad, and I'm just like, damn, look at this man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was so good, so good. Jonathan.
I did Songbird the first time.
Oh.
Yeah, I sided with her. I was
okay.
like, man, I don't know. I just wanted to kind of
Yeah.
get her out, you know?
Mhm.
I gave her the benefit of the doubt.
Right. Okay. Daniel.
Same, because she was like, she told me she had a fucking cure. So I was like,
Yes,
my V
also
would
that.
want that fucking cure. So I'm
Yeah.
going to go
Okay.
with her to the end.
Mhm.
Cool.
That was the
Cool.
decision I made there.
Nick.
I went with Reed, and
okay.
it's really also kind of similar along the same line of thinking that Nave did, but more because Songbird lies to you so many
Mm.
times
Yeah.
Yeah.
leading up
yeah.
to that, and it's like I desperately wanted to believe her, but she kept fucking up, and she kept
Oh yeah.
she kept making mistake after mistake, and it's like I can't trust what you say to me, so
Mhm.
I have to
Yeah.
take things into my
Yeah.
own hand, and that's
Mhm.
always what Reed's prerogative was. He's like, we have to contain the situation, and I was like,
Yeah.
And that's
It
the
makes
thing is
sense.
that Reed is
Fuck.
nonstop, just so reliable the
Yes.
whole
Yep.
time. He just never
Yeah.
gives you a reason to think he's gonna fuck you over. Besides,
Yeah.
he's
suspicious.
He is
It's a bit
suspicious.
suspicious. A bit suspicious, yes. And I was like, I don't know,
because he's
man.
fucked over everyone else around you. Everyone says like everyone has a bad experience with this guy except you at this point, and so you're like, well, I don't know who to trust because like this one person is betraying me, but then everybody else tells me that he's like not a good guy.
Yeah.
And
I
Well,
didn't
but
get a
at the
good
same
feeling
time,
about
it's
him.
like his actions were like he was there for you. He does the mission with you to get into the stronghold,
Right.
and then so I'm just like, all right,
What happens after you go with Reed? Because the quest line that you go with Songbird is really
Gets
cool.
fucked up.
It's
So-
really cool. Like getting out with her is fucking sweet.
So
There's
I
a
didn't say
sweet-
mine, by the way. So I went with Songbird
Okay.
at first
Oh.
because I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm gonna give her one more shot. Okay. She
didn't
really
commit?
wants this cure. She really wants this cure, and you know, if she's gonna get this cure, she's gonna cure me. We're gonna be all good. We're gonna be all good. And
Yeah.
then it just goes off the fucking rails.
yeah. It goes
After
nuts.
that.
so
Yeah.
if I
It
may
does.
jump in, Nave, if I may jump in,
Go for it.
when you choose to upload the secret virus that Reed gives you in order when you're uploading it to the neural matrix, that's going to knock her out. You do that and then it doesn't work. And then she wakes up and she's really fucking pissed at you because I had an agreement with her. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll
Oh,
take
yeah.
care of you
Yeah.
beforehand
Okay.
because you have several meetings before. And she was like, I trusted you. I thought I could believe in what you tells me. And she basically goes like pseudo psycho.
Yeah.
Where
Oh,
she
wow.
like her eyes go red and then she starts
so
using
cool.
like her
Oh,
the
Really?
lightning
Dude,
is
I
coming off of
promise-
her body and she's like ripping open doors with her like cyber psychosis
Wow.
like powers. It's incredible.
It's one of those moments in game where I'm like, no matter what happens, I doubt the alternative to this was as cool as this one because this she literally goes like fucking Majin Vegeta and just murks
Yeah.
everybody. It's so cool.
Nice.
And like
Oh,
it's
damn.
similar to this game Tales of the Borderlands where you can side with Handsome Jack or side with Fiona. And like if you side with Fiona, it just sucks. And if you side with Handsome Jack, it's amazing. And had payoffs over and over again throughout the rest of the series. So I'm like, dude, I feel so bad with people. And that's kind of, it's not like I don't know. It's really cool what happens when Songbird's mad at you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Well,
So-
when you choose Songbird, you have to do this like elaborate escape plan and try to get
Yeah.
to
Really?
the shuttle and get
The
her to
shuttle
the moon.
Yeah.
And try
Okay.
to shuttle her to the moon. So it's like this big fucking quest line where you're sneaking through the whole airport and the whole spaceport, and you have to sneak around and while Reed is like chasing after you. It's pretty
So,
cool.
Yeah.
In
Not
this
as maybe
same
not
mission,
as cool as the other one.
Not
do
as
you
cool as
have to
that
fight? Do you have to fight Hansen throughout in that
No.
same quest?
No,
Because I fucking
Yeah.
murdered Hansen.
we killed him. Yeah, early.
Yeah, we killed. Well, in that moment, because obviously, like you're running after Somi at that point, but you're
Mhm.
inside of the Bargus stronghold, and so when
Yeah.
you're trying to run after her to get out of that whole situation. He like is there at the end after you like take
Yeah.
out a bunch of commandos, and he's
Oh,
throwing
no.
a knife in your
We
leg.
give a signal up top, and then they just blast him in the head.
Oh,
Really?
that's so
There's
lame.
no fight.
That is
There's no
really
fight
lame
with
because
Hansen. yeah.
I love the fact that like
Yeah.
V and Hansen go toe to toe, and at the point that I was
It's
at,
so
I
satisfying.
I was high leveled, and he was going toe to toe. Like he was
Dude.
tough to take down. He was
Oh,
harder
really,
to
eh?
take down Hansen than it was to take down at
Smasher.
Smasher.
Dude,
Yeah,
legit.
okay.
He's so fast.
I was skating through the game, and then suddenly I had to sit up. Like I had to put my elbows on my
Oh,
knees.
wow, okay, I didn't fight him.
It
He
was-
just was one shot. He was fucking dead.
That's
but,
so sad.
It's like
Yeah.
I let them do it. I was like, yeah.
Well,
you
what
can do
Wait,
it.
happens-
so who killed him?
It had
in
to have
your-
been-
Alex did?
Alex.
Because
When
he
she was
like
in, she
he
was
like
in disguise.
completely
Yes.
he like chokes her, and like once you side with Reed, he realizes something is up,
He
and
kills
then he
her.
literally just strangles her
It's
right
sad.
there
Oh,
at
wow.
the top. It's really sad.
Crazy.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Okay, yeah, no,
Okay,
she fucking one shotted him. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
then you
blasted
show
was
blasted
the
her
just-
fucking way.
She was the one of the twins, right? She was just disguised.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the thing after that is whenever you get done with killing what's his name, you meet up with Reed, and because eventually Somi gets captured because she runs out of fucking gamer juice or whatever the fuck is going on, and
Gamer juice.
she gets captured, and then you have to like meet up with Reed and come up with this fucking Ocean's 13 scheme to blow up the fucking convoy with her in it to like rescue her or whatever.
I
Wow.
don't think she was. Oh, you're right. She was captured by the people. What is
Yeah.
it? The super cops. What are they called?
I don't
Stack?
remember.
Isn't that Militech? Don't they come down?
It's
when they're
not Militech.
cyberpsychos?
It's like
Max Tech? Max
Max
Tech?
Max
Tack.
Tack,
It's the
yeah,
Max
I think-
Tack guys who
Max
grab her.
Tack, that's
Yeah,
right.
and then you have to blow
Wow.
up the thing like
That was
it's
really
so cool.
fun. That
It's
was
so
really
cool.
fun. And it's like the whole thing is like you meet up with I think it's one of the gangs that's in the original game that Reed has a direct connection with. Like he has friends that are the leadership of the gang. I think it's like 13th Street or something. They're like the veterans, like the I guess
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
QAnon
The
dudes
Barracudas.
of
know.
Cyberpunk or whatever.
6th Street,
but-
I think.
Yeah, the 6th Street Mercs or something. And then like
Yeah.
they come there and they like, okay, we got drones, we have mines, we have turrets.
They do
Uh,
the
this
whole
sounds like
fucking
What do you
Yeah,
want
thing.
to do? What do you
So
want to
you
do?
don't fight her? You don't fight her at all?
I think-
Not yet.
You do,
Not
yeah,
yet.
but not in this spot. This spot you
Oh
save
my god,
her,
this
but
is, sounds
after
like
you,
the much harder ending. Because
Yeah.
like in our ending, there's no other fighting. Like you do the escape
What?
thing and
It's all
that's it.
story.
Like-
Well,
It's
no,
all
there's
drama.
the fighting. There's
That is
you
the
get
fight.
to the
but that's the
no.
oh no, there's
you
like
get-
a helicopter
You get to
kind
the
of boss.
big helicopter
Yeah.
boss
Oh,
fight
yeah,
where
true.
you're in. You get like waves and waves of
It's like a
these-
wave
of these
thing, but yeah,
cops,
but,
and then
like-
you're stuck in
but there's
this
no like
control
big
center,
boss or anything.
and you have to like hack
That's
the
so
control center
crazy.
while this
because
Yeah, you
there's
have to
so
helicopter
much
thing.
more game if you choose Reed.
That's what
there's
I'm saying,
So
is,
much
like,
more
more of a-
game
you guys-
afterwards.
It's more of a
You didn't
sneaky-
go
it's more of a
down
sneaky-
into the depths of Dogtown where she finds the old Militech bunker where they
You
were
could-
developing the thing.
and learn all about that.
I don't
You didn't
think
do
so.
that?
Oh,
You
you
gotta
guys
go
gotta go
do
back and
that.
play.
What the
You gotta
fuck?
go back and play.
Why
you
does
gotta
the
make a
ending
different
suck so
decision.
bad?
Because like
Wow.
they literally okay, so what happens is that Somi, after she escapes the Bargus facility, is that Max Tack gets her. You try to get her from Max Tack, and then she goes Super Saiyan again.
Yeah.
But then she
Times
picks up
two.
a signal because she's tapped into the black wall so many times. is that she's found an ancient, like, she's found the source of the Militech relic that they kind of hint at earlier in the game, is that there is a secret Militech bunker in the bottom of it, because I don't know at what point it happens, but you literally fight the spider from Ghost in the Shell. Like,
Oh wait, that
it's like
sounds
a
familiar.
yeah.
There's a spider similar to that in like a side
the
story.
beginning.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
'Cause okay.
The beginning.
I did
yeah.
do that. I thought earlier.
Yeah, you do it earlier, but basically there's a facility that's way, way deeper in like
Weird.
the substrata of like the layer
Wow.
that they
What's
built
really-
Dogtown on
what the
top
fuck?
of.
What's really
I'll have
cool
to
is that
reload.
like you have an Assassin's Creed point, and we haven't
You
mentioned
jump down.
we haven't mentioned this, but fucking Keanu Reeves is amazing in this fucking
Oh,
DLC.
he's so
yeah.
good.
And so he's
so
standing
good.
there, and he's just like, "This is fucking stupid." Like, okay, you're gonna jump down there? Okay, man.
Even
Good
Johnny
luck.
wouldn't do that.
So sometimes it stares
Yeah,
at black until it stares back at you. Some crazy shit.
Yeah,
like
he
that.
says some
Yeah.
cool shit, man.
Mhm.
But yeah, you have to jump. You go like into the core of the earth. Like you're
Yeah.
fucking going down to fight
Man,
this chick.
crazy.
God.
Okay.
I
And
think
so-
I think I have a save file before everything goes down. So
Strongly
Yeah,
recommend.
I
you go
saved
back.
every 2 seconds of that. fucking
yeah.
game.
Okay.
Well,
My goodness, that's fucked.
No, well, do we ask you guys then for that ending? What happens at the very end, like with Somi? Then
It's really
Um,
touching.
It's depressing as fuck. What
Yeah.
happens?
should
So-
we
so
play it? Should
basically-
you tell us? Should we play it?
I mean,
my
it
goodness.
depends
You
on like,
should
are
play
you
it.
are
I
you
might
willing
have
to
to
get
fucking
spoiled
play
on the
this
show
now.
right now?
Well, it
I-
just
because-
sounds so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I will-
let us tell you the rest of ours.
Definitely.
And we'll get
Go
to
for
the
it.
point.
Go
Did you
for
make it to
where
the
that
moon?
is. So we take the tram after this big explosion, after the big fight. We take
All
this
the fighting,
tram
yeah.
to the actual shuttle, like the doors of the shuttle,
Yes.
and then Reed comes down.
No,
Oh,
but
no, sorry,
before
sorry,
that,
in the
in the shuttle.
in the tram, she confesses that
She loves
she
you?
isn't gonna.
she doesn't
isn't
have the
gonna
fucking
save you.
cure.
She doesn't.
No, she has
Oh
the
my
cure.
God.
She has the cure,
This
but it's only
fucking-
for one.
It's only for
Yeah, you can only
yeah,
use it
she
once.
She
wants
was
it.
going to use it for herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once she got to the moon, she wasn't going to cure you. She was going to just cure herself. And that
So
was
she
it.
lies to you again.
So once I heard that,
Yeah.
oh my, I wanted to
Yeah.
fucking
I was
wring
like,
her
you're
neck
fucking
right
done.
there.
I was like, Reed, Reed.
fucking
yeah,
Homer
Reed, what's up,
Simpson.
Reed? Yeah. Oh my.
I was like,
God.
Reed, get over here, and I will fucking personally hand
Yeah.
this bitch over.
Oh
to you.
yeah.
And that's
so
what I
happens-
fucking did.
And so what happens is he meets you after you leave the tram, and you're like carrying her, because she's like almost dead from the black wall and all that stuff, just
Yeah.
hacking away at her brain. And he's like, "You give her to me now, and you'll get cured by the government. We'll bring you over here.
And I was still
got people-"
suspicious. Like,
Yeah, I
the
was
government's gonna cure me. Okay, Reed.
yeah,
I was like, you know what, Reed? I'm all yours, buddy.
Yeah.
This bitch lied to me. You take this fucking cunt, and I'll come
Yeah,
with you. And that's
exactly.
what happened. That's what
Jonathan, did
happened
you
there
do
at
that
the end.
too?
Yeah, same. Same
Man,
thing.
okay.
So
right,
all three of you guys chose the same route.
No, Daniel's different.
So
Okay.
check this out. So on the tram, this is funny because we made the same first decision,
Mm-hmm.
me and the trolls. But on the tram, she revealed she lied to me, and I was like, "Fuck, man! Like, why would you do that, dude?" So I was like, I was pissed, or whatever. But I was like, "You should have just told me, or whatever." And so, and I kind of like my V like accepted her fate because she's dying anyway, and like you're kind of working on another cure with Arasaka or whatever in the base game because this is all parallel, right? So I was like, well, fuck. I guess I have maybe one other option. I was like, okay, I won't call Reed. I was just like, you know what? I've come this fucking far. I just
Wow.
fucking fought all these Barghest troops. Like, I busted my ass out of there. I just, I fought a fucking helicopter and survived like the comms tower crashing on us. And I've dragged her ass this far. I'll just keep going and we'll see what happens. So I didn't call Reed. I was like, we'll see. So I'm carrying her fucking broken ass body to the shuttle. Reed comes out of the shuttle and he's like, hand her over, V. We can make this decision easy. We can make it hard. And I was like, and there was like a timer on every fucking decision you have to make in this
Yeah.
game with conversation, right? So I was like, and I looked at the options as quick as I could. And I was like, I pulled out my fucking gun on him because I was like, no, I've
You
come this
did.
far to put her on that fucking shuttle. And I
Oh
shot him in
my
the head and killed him.
God.
So
Oh my
I
God.
killed Reed.
You
Like,
killed
is it
Reed?
one shot? That's
Oh, yeah.
insane.
yeah, I killed him. I
That's
shot him right in the
crazy.
head. And he's just fucking boom, just sack of potatoes, falls back.
So
What?
And yeah. And so I put her on the fucking shuttle and I was like, that's what I started. So I'm finishing. And then you just sit in the
You
shuttle
should watch
house,
her go to
like,
the fucking
watching-
moon.
Yeah, and Johnny
what?
comes and you just have like a nice conversation with Johnny. He's like, and I think he like approves of that decision. He's like, you
Really?
did good, V.
Oh
Whatever,
yeah,
whatever.
Johnny
So
does
Because he
not
fucking
like.
hates Reed.
Johnny does
Because-
not
Yeah,
like
oh
Reed.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
Because Reed is
exactly.
literally just a direct interpretation of Johnny. It's just
Did
what
you-
Johnny would have been if it not, if
Yeah.
like he had
If
not
he hadn't
been like
left
aligned
the
against
If
the
you
Yeah,
had
that's
left
true.
the army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which is
The-
funny
so-
because like, did you guys, whenever the president's like trying to swear you in, did you swear in? Because Reed,
I did
mean
not.
not Reed,
I
but
did not know.
did you? None of you did that?
I
did
don't
not.
remember.
I don't
I
remember.
don't.
It's a
think I
tiny
did.
little thing. She gives you a badge and says,
Oh,
"Do you
yeah,
want to
yeah, yeah.
swear
She's like,
to
do
be
you
a
want to take an
CIA?"
oath? Yeah.
And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Yeah,
yeah.
sure, I'll take an oath, whatever."
Yeah, me
and
too.
Johnny busts your balls all the
Yeah,
time
yeah,
about
yeah.
it. It is so funny.
Yeah.
you fucking
So-
government bootlicker. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was my ending, and it was sweet. It's called
That's
the
it.
Wand
That's all that
Maker.
happened.
Okay.
That's all that happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Okay.
My
I
ending
put her on the
was-
Wow,
shuttle,
for
I sent her to
mine,
space.
okay, for mine, I give her to Reed. They take her away, whatever,
Yeah.
and then Reed, I guess, says that the scientists are ready to cure me, and that you just got to go to Washington. So you go to Washington, and they fucking cure you, and you're in a coma for like 2
2
years.
years. Yeah.
So you wake
Wow.
up 2 years later, and you're like, you're cured, but like you don't have any more chrome. You can't use chrome anymore.
And
So you're
it's
just
so-
a normal ass dude.
And you go
What,
back
really?
to Night City, and
Yeah.
it's the most depressing thing.
Yeah,
So
and
Yeah.
you go back to Night City, and you're like,
I was
what
like,
the
why would you
fuck?
do that? I would not go back to
Crazy.
Night City with no Chrome,
Yeah.
and I would
Get
not go back to
bullied?
Night City.
get pushed
Not-
down
yeah.
and
Yeah,
get
you
your
get your
ass
ass
stolen.
kicked.
You
get your
literally
ass
that's
kicked.
what happens. You literally get
Yeah.
pushed down by some fucking random goon on the street. They literally give you they
Yeah.
give you an option where it's like where he's like, "What are you doing in this part of the city?" And
Yeah.
like V acts like the old V for a second. She's like, "Back off. You want to keep your fucking head, Choom." And then the dude literally punches her in the face, and she
Knocks
falls
her
down
out.
the stairs,
Yeah.
and you get woken up by Mindy. It's the
Yeah.
saddest thing I've
Yeah.
ever seen, but it's
That's
You go
crazy.
from yeah.
Yeah, because,
You
like,
go
you
from
have an
hero
option
You're
to
like
zero.
become a
this
fixer.
to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you become
like,
a fixer.
But like, I wouldn't even go back to Night City. I'd be like, I have
go to
zero
Kansas.
protection.
So-
like, what
so-
the fuck?
Just out of
Yeah.
curiosity, Nate, would you have taken the job from Reed to work for the NUSA, to like work for the government?
I tried. I didn't. I was trying to find my way not to go back to Night City, but it like funneled me back to Night
Yeah.
City.
You probably
interesting.
messed
Okay.
some conversations up.
The
Then.
Pan Am ending fucking sucks too. Like she doesn't want
Well,
to talk to you anymore.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Obviously, right? You're 2 years.
2
So
years ago, she
I
just
call up
fucks
Judy.
off.
I call
Wait,
up
what?
Judy, and she's like,
Yeah.
What happened to Pan Am?
Yeah.
She just doesn't want to talk to you anymore. So you
About
try to call her.
Yeah, you
Did you try
call
to
it,
call
and then
her?
her guy,
Yeah,
Greg,
and
or
her
whoever's
buddy,
in her thing,
Mitch.
like answers. He's like, you better not
Mitch.
call back here. It's just
It's like,
better.
hey,
Wow.
V, yeah.
Are you serious?
Don't call again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
my-
when you
so my
beat
Ju-
the game, the normal game.
No, this is the.
No, this is
This is
the
Phantom
after
Liberty ending.
the Phantom Liberty cure.
Yeah.
Oh,
when
when
you
you,
get cured.
Yeah,
get
so-
cured, it literally ends the game.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. So
Whenever you side with Reed, it doesn't end the game. You just keep
Oh,
playing.
really?
No.
Oh, really?
So okay. So like the thing is that everything happens at the end of like the thing when you side with Reed, and then Somi goes like insane, and then you have to go get her. There's a whole quest that we don't know if we want to spoil for you guys yet. But then after that's done, that's basically like the end of the Phantom Liberty like main storyline.
And then you
And
continue
then
a little
the
bit
Phantom
more.
Liberty, yeah, and you can go back, you can go do like whatever side missions you want, or you can go do whatever like romancing things in the main game. But then the Phantom Liberty cure, where like you call up Reed and he takes you to the NUSA,
yeah.
that is like literally just that is the replacement for going to Mikoshi.
Oh, I burned that bridge,
Hmm.
so I didn't even have that option. I burned
Yeah.
that bridge.
Interesting.
So did it? So Nick, whenever you do the end of Phantom Liberty, did Reed forgive you? And did was the government happy with your job? Because I'll just answer because Reed forgave me, but the president fucking hated me. She didn't even want to talk to me. She was like spitting on me whenever she saw
Yeah,
me.
fuck her. She's a
So I'm
fucking fireball,
assuming-
and so is Reed, and that's why I killed him.
Yeah, I mean, you're honestly not too far off, Dan. But I was low key. I hated myself every single second of it, but I kind of did the Boy Scout like
The Boy
trooper,
Scout
like
thing.
like the route. Like I did whatever Reed wanted me to do because he's Luther. You know, he's the
Well,
he's
that's the
like,
thing.
He's Idris
No,
Elba, you
'cause
know.
no, doing the Reed stuff is not the Boy Scout thing. Doing the president's stuff is the Boy Scout thing. Because eventually the president and Reed's interests diverge. And that's
Yeah,
at
that's
the end
true.
of that. The president can be happy with you, or Reed can be happy with you, or they both
Right.
hate you.
So I
That
mean,
is
like
true.
the reality is like at the end of like the way that I did is that after everything happened with So Me and the route that I went through, you go back, and I mean, for you guys, like obviously, like it's hard to explain this without explaining like what happens immediately before. You guys
Yeah.
okay if we say that?
I think you just cliff notes it because like the president shows up, you give Somi to them, Reed is there, and like
Yeah.
you talk to Reed, then the president talks to you, and then whenever for my game, I don't know how if it's different for any way else, but Reed stayed behind and we just kind of sat in the desert and just talked, and I kind of consoled him because he was
That's
like
where
having a hard time with like everything that had transpired because obviously family is fucking nuts and so much happens.
yeah.
Especially
Well,
with
and
what's her
it's-
name getting shot, or not shot, but choked out by what's his name
Oh,
in
yeah.
the office
Alex.
hours.
Oh,
Alex
yes.
gets
He-
murdered by Hanson.
He is really mad at you about that. By the way, he was like, I thought you were gonna protect. I trusted you there. Like I thought you weren't. He's not happy.
That's
that
so
you died.
that's so
God.
interesting because it's like it's not even your fault that happened. It's technically his fault because
Yeah, but I mean, like
of
he's emotional.
the-
He's
yeah.
emotional guy.
but the thing is that it's really interesting because Rosalind, she was cool with me. She like actually wanted to shake my hand and everything, and I was so fucking done with her shit by the end of it. I was like, I never
Yeah.
want to see you again.
spit
I
in
never
her
want to
face?
talk to you again. Yeah, I was
She
like,
hated me, dude.
do not speak to me. She was wanting to give me like a medal. I was like, fuck off with that shit. I do not
Yeah.
want any part of this because
Yeah,
everything that happens leading up to that is so slimy, and you
Mhm.
feel so fucking bad about the choice that you have to make. Even though that you think it's the correct one, you realize at the very end, that you
Oh.
probably made the wrong choice.
Oh,
Or at least I
that
did.
reminds me. So, did you do what
Okay.
Somi wanted, or did you do what Reed wanted?
I did what Reed wanted at the end of our route.
Really? That changes
Yeah.
everything. I forgot about that choice because I did what Somi wanted.
There's a second layer.
You
So
guys need to
basically,
play that shit. Go
you need
replay
to
the
go
fucking
in.
other
No,
way.
please
I'm
go
pussyfooting
replay
around
it.
it now, but
Yeah, I don't want to say what
It's
happens,
so
but like
good.
the way that they lead up to that point is so interesting, and it also gives you more context of what happens to Somi because you literally have a flashback of what she did in New York and like how she met
Oh.
Reed and everything, and like
okay.
like it shows like how she developed her
sake.
skills as a net runner and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
So
That's
it's
sweet.
very worth going back and trying that.
So you see
different
that
route.
even if you see that no matter what the choice is, because I saw that too.
It happens right before you confront her.
Oh, you're right. That is way before the
Mhm.
choice. You're right.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay.
So cool.
So, just to wrap up, we're gonna start wrapping up here. Mine was I woke up from a coma like Jonathan's, and like before I went back to Night City, I call up Judy, right? And she's
Yeah.
moved out of Night City to
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
She got
She's-
married.
Yeah, I
She
got
got
that too.
married.
Yeah.
and I was just like,
2 years? 2 years? Well,
Yeah,
hey,
Gets
but like
married to a guy.
realistically,
you know what?
though, if like
How-
if your wife just
Exactly.
disappeared
Oh, I guess
for
'cause you
2 years, what
romanced
would
her,
you
right?
do?
oh yeah, exactly,
Oh,
right? And I
wow.
I
No
sat
way.
there for a minute, and it hit me pretty hard because the whole
Because that's the
history
same thing
of
that
me and
happened
Judy.
in mine. Even when you don't romance her,
That's
Oh, yeah.
so
Does
funny.
she calls you?
Yeah.
Or you call her?
you call her and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm in Pittsburgh now.
Yeah,
I'm
okay. Yeah,
married."
so-
I'm like, what
Yeah.
the
There,
hell?
I'm like, I'm at the headquarters, or whatever. I'm cured. I'm ready to go. Like I was like, I'm ready to retire in Washington or even Seattle, where the hell ever I'm gonna go. And so I call up Judy, and she's already moved on, has a family, and I'm just like, I guess that's gonna happen, right? 2 years, 2 years without telling
Judy's
anybody
such
where
a
you're
flake,
going.
dude. I fucking
Oh,
hate her
man.
so much.
Well, so the interesting thing about Judy is that like it pisses me off because you have this really, really deep, loving,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
powerful relationship in the main game when you romance her. And then like obviously the way that everything happens in Phantom Liberty sucks because everybody just forgets about you, which makes sense
Yeah.
because life does
Yeah.
move on. You know,
Mhm.
2 years is a really long
Yeah,
time,
you're
especially when
basically
no one knew.
forgotten.
Technically, you told your guy, like whatever's like the main Ripper Doc, who's like your best friend at the very beginning.
yeah,
You told
Vic.
him you
Love
were
that guy.
going to go do
Yeah,
the thing.
I go back
Vic is so
and
amazing.
fucking
So he
visit
should have
with
spread
him.
the fucking word about what happened
Yeah.
to you. He clearly didn't, and people just moved on with their lives.
Well, maybe he
But
thought you
then-
died.
He thought you died because
Yeah,
you go
because
back
you
and
weren't
talk to
answering
him, right?
questions or anything.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
go back and you talk to him, and he's like working for the man. You know,
Yeah.
he's
Which is fucked up because you would think that if Reed actually cared about you, he would like try to make sure that your accounts are like, cool and settled or whatnot. And you lose your house, you lose a lot of your like assets.
Another
Sweet
reason
apartment.
to shoot him in the face.
So did you guys romance both Pan Am and Judy before Phantom Liberty? Do you know how those romances like end?
I couldn't romance Pan Am because she's only romanceable
Yeah.
as a guy.
Yeah.
So
Why did
But
you
you have a
And
good friendship
in-
with her.
in the normal Cyberpunk, Pan Am just leaves you no matter what. Like at the end of the game, she's with you and she's like, I don't like Night City. I don't like you. I'm actually bouncing. It's fucking terrible. And then in Pan Am's, she stays with you like as a loving partner for
You
like
mean Judy?
Pan Am.
Oh.
Pan Am stays with you. Like
Wow.
in normal Phantom Liberty, if you
Yeah,
go
yeah.
with Pan Am to siege Arasaka Tower and then leave with her, she
Her and
stays
the
with you forever.
Aldecados.
She like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
guys
yeah.
just ride off into the sunset together. It's fucking
Actually,
awesome.
That's not, that's not how I finished.
You
it.
literally like
That's-
leave
so
through the wall like to escape
So
Night
you're
City
saying
together.
okay, so you're
Oh.
saying that you go to Mikoshi, raid Mikoshi with Pan Am in the Aldecados.
Yes.
And you make it, and then Atom Smasher just completely crushes the dude, and then you and Pan Am kill him.
Yeah.
And then you go into Mikoshi, and then you leave as yourself, and you
Yes.
let
Okay.
Johnny
There's a
go.
lot. Yeah. There's a lot of asterisks
And-
along
Okay.
the way.
My
Okay,
ending
got it.
my ending for the original was shit. It sucked. I think I was put on ice. I'm just like, okay, see you later.
Yeah.
I went to the moon. I went to a moon casino or
The
something. like
moon
that.
one was my first one, and then I was
moon
like,
one.
that's so
that's the
sad.
one. I think
And,
that's the one where you trust Arasaka. You trust
Yeah.
like the girl, like
That's
the
called
girl
the
that
devil.
you meet in Embers.
That's what I got.
And and then like apparently they start. I read what happened in that timeline, but apparently they like
They
test
try to
you,
rehabilitate
they-
you, but
they,
they keep
like,
you there
they-
forever instead. Testing
and
on
then
you.
they're like, oh, like
Yeah.
we can't fix you. You can go back. You have 6 months to live, and then you're just
It's really harrowing. You're just doing Rubik's cubes for like what feels like forever.
Yeah,
and
you
it's
don't
one of
go
those,
back.
Like,
you stay in
nightmarish,
space forever.
Wow.
really.
sequences,
So that's
yeah.
the original, the base thing.
Yeah, I think.
Um,
well, they sent
I
me back
thought-
to Earth, but I had 6 months to live, and then I just died there.
Oh, do you? I don't remember that.
I was put on ice. I was put under. I'm just like uploaded onto the fucking
The net.
the net. Or
Man.
It's
whatever.
so.
Interesting.
This is the.
There's so many different options.
I can't. It's blowing my mind how many fucking variations of these endings
Yeah.
in all of the fucking different directions you can go in with this. It's so cool. What an amazing game, man.
Yeah.
Well, what's
yeah.
so cool about it too is that you were talking about Judy before, and what I was trying to say is the ending that you have with Rogue when you raid Arasaka with Rogue and you go into Mikoshi with her.
Sad.
Is that like you actually take over Afterlife at the end of that? Like if you
okay.
come out of the other side and you choose to let Johnny stay with the AI, and then you come back as V yourself, and it's like that you have X amount of time, but you come in and you're kind of like you become
big
the
deal.
legend
Yeah,
of Night
yeah.
City, which is really fucking cool. But then like you and yours in Judy's relationship like falls apart, and she's like, I don't know who you are anymore, and she's like, I think I want to go and do my own thing, and then
I
V
fucking hate
well, like-
Judy, man.
and then
Man.
V is like, well, that's understandable because I have a business to run, and then she like
Oh,
gets
wow.
in her chopper and like
It's like,
goes
I'm a
to
fucking legend. I'm
Afterlife.
legendary. Get the hell out of here.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Gosh.
God
Yeah,
damn
but
it, man.
you're right. It's the amount of variability and like the storytelling that they go in this game. It's like I am so glad that I listened to you guys, and I am so glad that I took to heart what you were saying. And I mean, you guys really did sell me. So thank you again for like
Mhm.
pushing me over the edge into doing it. Because if I were to listen to Will, I
Edge
wouldn't
runners.
have never fucking done any of this shit.
Nobody wanted to
But,
play
like,
this game. Nobody
but-
wanted to play this game because how bad it ran on like PS4 and Xbox One.
Dude, that's the
Like,
thing.
And
I played it on Xbox One X, and it was obviously very fucking jank and not optimized, but I barely ran into like hardcore glitches. And I'm also one of the people that are like, oh, that's a funny glitch, whatever, and I just go about my
Yeah.
business.
Okay. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the reason why I plot the game is when it got taken off of the PlayStation store, I was like, that day when I got home from work, I was like, oh fuck, I better buy this game if I want to
Yeah.
play it. Because if it gets taken off the Xbox store too for some reason, that would suck. So
Yeah. But like the thing is that like I genuinely think that's in from what I understand is that a lot of the main story remains intact, and like they did a lot of QL improvements and obviously a little bit more integrations, and they improved the skill tree, all of like the stuff that makes playing the game fun, good. But like the heart, like the core of the story and like the character writing and the dynamics and the fact that you're literally just like a detective going your way trying to figure out what the fuck is going on in Night City is the coolest thing. And it's such a shame that that was never truly applauded in the way that I really think it should be, because it's like The Witcher 3 is also like, I mean, they're almost hand in hand equally as like powerful in terms of like
Yeah.
narrative creations. I would say like it's like apples and oranges. It's hard to compare the two, but I would say that like this is still one of the best stories I've ever played and one of the best protagonists I have ever played as. I've never been a more realized protagonist in anything that I've wanted to play like an RPG like this than V.
Yeah,
I don't
she's
think I've
just
ever
so
been
good.
connected to my protagonist and like any kind of choices I've made than in this game. Like,
Yeah.
when I was playing this game, I was just like, I was V, you know? Like, I had such a connection with my V. It was incredible. It was incredible.
Well, it's too bad that we've spoiled it for anyone listening if they haven't played
Yeah,
it.
Man, the thing about this is that there's so much more to this game.
Yeah, I mean, you could still
You're
play it
missing,
and
like,
get
all of it.
something different. You know what I mean?
I'm telling
Yeah.
you, man. Yeah.
Exactly.
So if you're listening and you haven't played it, you could still play and get something different than what the hell we're talking about. So I mean,
Go gorilla mode.
Go play it. Go play it. Yeah, go gorilla arms and fucking. I don't know. There's so many different ways.
Go
to play
romance
the game.
the fucking detective that no one romanced apparently.
Yeah, River.
I actually romanced River, and it was the most boring thing I've ever done.
Dude,
Oh.
the funny thing
It was
is that
terrible.
he's bisexual. I don't know if he's straight up gay or if he's just bisexual, but like he invites you to a cookout and like he's hitting on me and I'm like, is he hitting on me? And the whole
Yeah.
time he's stirring
Yeah.
his chili and just staring at me. And I'm just like, I don't know what to say because I don't know if I want to romance this guy.
I'm
Or not.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, I never went to that. I left it open. I was like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And I didn't, and I never went. And I never went. Oh my god. Okay, well, I think that wraps it up here. Go play the game. Honestly, one of the best games like of all time, I think.
Of all time, yeah. I think so.
Of our generation, of this generation.
Yeah, it's up
for
there with
sure.
Elden Ring, man. Like for real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
amazing. It's an amazing game. It had a bad start, unfortunately, and bad press, which kind of ruined it for a lot of people, which is unfortunate, but now it's an amazing game. And that is it, I think, for this week's episode. Thanks, everyone, for taking the time to listen or watch. Thank you, Nick and Nave, for coming on. Go check out their podcast, Friday Night Gamecast, and the Gaming Together podcast.
Yep. We on episode 138 we had Nate, and on episode for the Hell Let Loose on 136
Nice,
we
yeah.
had
Okay.
Jono on for the finals, and then
Yep.
on 142 we're gonna have Dandolph, right?
Let's
I
go.
don't know, for golf friends.
I don't know.
Golf friends.
Just come on and
Friends
shoot the
with
shit.
golf.
All right.
But yeah, check them out on Spotify, Apple Podcast. That is all. Give us a like. Check out our YouTube. Give us a review. Give them a review. And that's it.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Thanks,
next
guys,
time.
for coming out. Peace.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
guys.
Great to
Ciao.
see you.
See ya.
Later.
Bye bye.